Slight
Yay!
delay. Woo! Hello. Good evening, good morning, good whenever you're watching this. Maybe at 10 p.m., maybe at 10 a.m. My name is Jes Layton. I am the digital manager of National Young Writers Festival this year. I'm coming to you from a Wabakal and I had this earlier.
Warramai.
Warramai, thank you, Mary. Warramai land. I normally am, doing all my creative stuff, living, working, playing in Naarm on Wurundjeri land. But it's so fabulous to be here in Newcastle for the National Writers Festival for this event in particular, Hugo Award Nominee. Thanks, Ao3. Joining me tonight, I have Merryana. Would you like to introduce yourself, mate?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Merryana Salem. I am a pop culture writer at Junkie. I am also an author of speculative fiction, and you can read my short stories in Unlimited Futures and This'll Come Back Now, which were both published this year. And I also have a podcast called Gay V Club, where me and my bestie discuss queer media as people of colour. And I'm also, before I was any of those things, though, I was a fan fiction writer, mainly of Sherlock Holmes fan fiction. And because I believe in honesty and transparency, you can still find that fan fiction under the username that I use for everything, which is aka Just Mary. And if you want to go and find that fan fiction, you are more than welcome to do it. I know for a fact that my mum reads it to her friends when she meets them. So I may as well just tell people because she's already doing it. So
this is a bold way to start the event. You've dropped it.
I believe in full transparency, but yes, on all my social media at aka Just Mary like Merry Christmas. So yeah, that's me. And yes, please take it away, Sarah.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I love that you just dropped that, and I will definitely be looking after this is done. That's my reading for tonight. Thank you. So hello everyone, my name is Sarah. I'm a writer, performer, and also do a bit of producing here and there. That's kind of exciting. And I am queer, I'm Polynesian, Australian, and so I've currently written a one-woman show called Cherry, which is all about my fangirl life, which I'll kind of go into because I'll be reading from. And yeah, I will say that, so obviously I'm a Katie Cat, I'm a stan, I'm part of the fandom fangirl Twitter, but I'm sad to say I actually deleted my fangirl Twitter because I was like, I know, I had like thousands of followers, guys. And I was like, I'm gonna be professional. Like, I don't need anyone finding that. And now I'm actually sad because my tweets were funny, or would be funny now. Anyways.
That's actually so sad that you went and deleted it. Like, rude.
I know, rude to myself. Oh.
And to all of us, because now we can't like search you out like we can Mary. I'm not.
What an incredible archive! Like, what an incredible archive that would have been to have.
I know. I'm genuinely devastated.
I know, and I'm actually kind of glad. Sorry, I'm like kind of glad though, because I've been writing fanfiction since I was like 11 years old, and I've had a couple of counts over that time. So for context, I'm like 27, so I think I'm bad at math. 18 years? 18 plus 11?
Yeah.
No, 16 years, sorry. Yeah, so.
No. I'm also bad at math, and I just agreed with you. I was like, sure, that sounds right.
I was like, yeah, we're writers, we're not mathematicians, it's fine. But yeah, so you guys added context to your fanfic writing stuff. So yeah, I've been writing fanfic for a long time now. And when I pitched this event, people were like, why is it called Hugo Award Nominee? And I had to do the explanation, which, Mary, I know you love context. So for all of our lovely viewers, before we get into our readings, I just wanted to explain how one of the main sort of archives and platforms, and also advocates for fan fiction and creative transformative works online, Archive of Our Own, was actually nominated for a Hugo Award, which is a massive science fiction and like genre fiction award. It was chosen because it's such not necessarily for the actual authors and their work on the website, but for the archive itself. It's the archive technology about it. But because of that, every person, millions and millions of people who have works on that site, myself included, were like, yeah, that's our Hugo Award. We're now Hugo Award. So I guess you will also a Hugo Award nominee. Amazing. So I don't know about you guys, but should we get some, let's wrap up with some fanfic and some fanish activities. I'm thinking, Sarah, I think you want to introduce us to your magnum.
I think that's me. Let's do it.
Snap.
Okay, snap. Oh, I love this. Supportive. Yes, let's go. Okay, context. So I'm going to be reading a little excerpt from my one-woman show called Cherry. The tagline of the show is it's a little bit cabaret, it's a little bit comedy, and it's a whole lot of Katy Perry. And I'm actually doing it. Well, I'm actually in Nam at the moment, which is where I'm broadcasting from. Doing the show this coming week at Melbourne Fringe. So plug, if anyone is in Nam, please come and see this show. If you know anyone, share away. So I guess I'll read a little bit. I'm just gonna read it. Let's go. Okay. All right. Katy Perry's real name is Catherine Elizabeth Hudson. She was born on the 25th of October 1984 in Santa Barbara, California, which is about an hour's drive from LA Central. I grew up in St. Mary's in Western Sydney, which in traffic is about an hour from Sydney Central. Her cat's name is Kitty Perry. That's actually where the term Katy cats came from. I have 2 cats. She's also created 2 perfumes, Meow and Purr, inspired by her cats. I have both in 100ml and travel size. Pretty cool if you ask me. She's one of 3 siblings. I'm an only child, but I do have step siblings. Her parents are Pentecostal ministers. My mum's a Methodist minister. Katy sang in her parents' church. I sometimes sing in my mum's church. She's dyed her hair so many colors: blue, pink, black, blonde, and even purple. I dyed my hair purple last year. She was once suspended for school for humping a tree. Someone on the internet posted a photo of her school report on Twitter, and it said, Katy and other students were in an off-limits area practicing a skit. Katy pretended that a tree was Tom Cruise and began making sexual motions. Impressive. I know. I've never done anything like that. Katy didn't finish high school and left for LA at 15 to pursue her dreams. She changed her name and created something for herself. I want to create something for myself, but my mum wouldn't let me drop out of school. I can still create something for myself. Believe in yourself and you can be anything. And then in the show, there's a little cute firework interlude. Anyways, so then Katy Perry is coming to Sydney for the California Dreams tour. My mum's in the kitchen doing the dishes. I approach her cautiously and wait for the perfect moment to pounce. Can we go to the Katy Perry concert? My mum looks at me. She doesn't speak straight away. It's at the Entertainment Centre, May 14th. It's a Sunday. Tickets are $110. There's a pre-sale. It's this coming Monday. Can we get tickets? It's a school day, but I'll set an alarm. I've sorted it. Dad can help. I would really love to go. Mum stares at me. She sighs. She says yes. Monday morning, 5:55 a.m. I slowly open the door to my parents' bedroom. They're still asleep. Dad. He wakes up with a jolt, unsure of where he is. What? Katy Perry tickets. Dad gets up. He looks really tired. Mum's still sleeping. We load up the computer. We wait for the dial-up to connect. I have my dad's laptop and 2 phones ready just in case. We log onto the Ticketmaster website. It says Katy Perry California Dreams Tour. There's a massive cartoon photo of her in a blue wig. She's smiling. Underneath that is a loading bar with dots connecting. It says, do not refresh this page. There's already a queue. I'm leaving over my dad. He's looking for what tickets are available. I suggest section 5. He clicks gone. I say best available, best available. Row Z 40 and 41. Book the tickets, book the tickets. He clicks book. He has to log in. My dad is typing slowly. Type quicker, quicker, it's going to sell out. He's still typing the password. He gets in. The tickets are still in the basket. He puts in his bank details slowly. This is all becoming real. He clicks checkout. A tick appears. Successfully purchased tickets to the California Dreams Tour. Oh man, I have to tweet at Katie's my champion about this. And that's my little excerpt.
I'm on mute, but I'm snapping.
Woo!
I
Love it.
love it. I had no idea that Katy Perry got in trouble in school for humping a tree.
She did, yes. And at
That
the time, I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
I right now think it's the coolest thing ever.
Sorry,
Isn't
can
it?
I just clarify? She imagined the tree was Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Wow,
That is,
that's
yeah.
that's quite
And
subversive. You know, I got to give her credit for that. That's amazing.
I know. I do as well. I was like, that's going to be the most iconic moment of her career, to be honest, back in the day. Forget
When
all the
I-
pop hits. That's it.
When I think of Katy Perry's sort of like idols, masturbatory idols, I wouldn't have thought Tom Cruise, but maybe I'm really gay,
No, I agree with you. I was like, there's better out there.
right? Especially for Katy Perry.
Exactly.
He's just such an ultra normie, you know. Like I would think the way Katy Perry is always talking about how weird she is, I would expect someone like her to have like a really like out of left field kind of sexual fantasy, like for when she was a teenager. But it's like, no, it's Tom Cruise. Like,
How boring. Like, do better.
but it's almost like so boring that it is weird because it's not weird.
It's done the circle. It's
Yep.
gone so
This is true.
normie that's back to being what the hell.
Yep, so true.
Oh, I love.
I really want to see that. Definitely make sure if you get the chance, head off to Melbourne Fringe in
Yeah.
Melbourne and check out Sarah's show, because hopefully there's some acting out of I mean, maybe that scene, but maybe we need stage directions as you were reading.
Yeah, maybe I do, maybe or maybe not. I reenact humping with a tree. I don't know. Come and find out at the show.
That's the hook.
That's the hook. That's how I get you all that tickets.
Yeah, definitely. Be sure to promote that on National Rise Festival stuff right after this event.
Oh, I
Um,
will. It's happening.
Awesome. Mary, did you want to give us a treat? Your
All
magnum
right.
opus.
I'm
Here goes
excited about
nothing.
this. Here we go.
I'm just gonna share my screen. One moment. Okay.
Oh, the suspense. It's getting me.
The build up. This is that part in the fanfic when they do the ...
Ooh.
Sorry, I think I clicked that too quickly.
Okay. I don't know. Is it working? Can you see? Can you see my?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. Okay.
Okay.
My
Hang on, I
body is
gotta-
ready.
Okay. Okay. It should be in presenter mode now.
It is not, because you did not share the presenter mode
Oh,
screen.
no. Okay. Hang on. I'm gonna do this. Ah,
This is what happens when you have a live event over
Yeah.
digital and it's like 10 p.m. at night. We're like, we got this.
I can't remember how anything works. Why isn't it?
I just removed it for you if you want to like re-add it and add the presenter screen.
Okay. Let me add. Okay. Here we
In
go.
the meantime, one thing I find, like, the current fandom, I mean, not the current fandom I'm really into is Our Flag Means Death. I've been reading that, like, all that fan fiction since the show came out and absolutely adore it. But the one that's hooked me in the longest, probably like 10 years, was the Supernatural fandom, which
Oh,
is a
yes.
whole beast.
Oh,
What
yeah.
about
That absolutely checks out for you, Jess. I say that with love, but like I just, that was the energy that I got from you. And I'm not judging you, because my biggest fandom, I guess, that people would know me for is Doctor Who and Sherlock. So if you're Supernatural, I'm like the other side of that triangle.
I mean,
you
that's
know,
pretty cool.
yeah.
Together we are super Who.
Yeah, exactly. So
Wanna
I okay, I think I've got the right thing to share now.
Alrighty, I'm gonna add it.
It did it. Yes.
Yes, we can see it.
Yay!
Let's hear it.
Okay. So when I move the slide, is it moving? Is it working?
Yes.
Yes.
Yay. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my magnum opus, which is my pop culture white whale. You know, there was a while ago on Twitter, there was people talking about the things that what was your pop culture white whale? What is the thing that you know kind of does exist, but never actually became a thing that you never actually found it, or it never actually was made? Mine is the third movie in the Saint Trinians franchise, which was actually meant to happen but never did. You can actually still find the YouTube video where the cast calls for does a casting call for this movie, but it just never happened. But I've decided I will give you my best pitch for what I think the third movie should be. But for anyone who doesn't know what Saint Trinians is, don't worry, I got you covered. So Saint Trinians was originally a 1940s comic by some Scottish guy who I'm not even going to bother to name because I don't care, whose nieces went to some experimental school and they actually liked going to the school, and he was like, wow, that's crazy. Girls who actually like going to school, oh my goodness. The real school in question was called Saint Trinians, and it was the center for several criminal scandals because it gave more freedoms to the students. And the comics were kind of weird and sadistic and a little bit sexist because, you know, men kind of suck, but some of them still hold up and are pretty funny. There is an example of one that I found on the Google. So previously, you know, if you don't remember what happened in the 2007 film Saint Trinians, which is a masterpiece, not even Russell Brand ruins this movie. And, you know, we just had Sarah talk about Katy Perry. There's a connection there. There you go. The shared universe of this particular panel. You know, we may remember that Russell Brand and Katy Perry were a strange power couple for a while there. But yes, this 2007 masterpiece of a movie was directed by Oliver Parker. And you have the poster there. You have Annabelle Fritton, who moves to a new school that's run by her trans icon of an aunt. And also the love of my life, Kelly Jones, played by Gemma Arterton, is head girl. The school is wild because it's St. Trinians, but, you know, the rent is due and the government wants to shut them down, so they need to come up with a whole bunch of money. And the girlies rob the National Gallery. Specifically, they steal the painting Girl with a Pearl Earring, and they steal it and then return it to get the reward money. Classic heist, classic scam. The primary genres drawn on in this film are, of course, the heist, the coming of age, the boarding school shenanigans, and, you know, paying homage to every single entry into Colin Firth's filmography. There's so many references to all of the things he's ever done in this movie. You know, this screenshot of Gemma Arterton was very formative for me. That's why it's in here just specifically by itself. It really adds nothing. This is not that important to the rest of the slideshow, but I have to have it there just so you understand where I'm coming from. This is the lesser known sequel to Saint Trinians, but I think it is the superior film A. It's the greatest sequel ever made. It's called Saint Trinians 2: Legend of Fritton's Gold. And in this film, Annabelle becomes Kelly's successor as head girl of Saint Trinians. Fellas, is it gay? Is it? Yes, it is. It's gay. It's gay. There is some treasure belonging to her ancestor or something, and Annabelle is going to prove herself as head girl and go find it. You know, just very normal prefect head girl activities. David Tennant tries to stop her from doing this because he's a man who's the head of a He-Man Woman Haters Club, and I wish that was a joke or hyperbole, but it really isn't. There's just a whole cult in this movie that's dedicated to oppressing women. And, you know, so Annabelle has to get Gemma Arterton back because she's become a full-on MI5 agent, MI6 or MI7. And they've got to, like, band together to stop David Tennant from being the misogynist guy. And they literally defeat misogyny in this movie forever by discovering that Shakespeare was actually a woman. And I wish I was making that up, but that's the actual plot of the film. It's excellent. And the movie ends with a ship, you know, like they're on a pirate ship and the other people are on a pirate ship. It's a genuine pirate ship fight. And again, we have the main genres drawn upon here: heist, treasure hunting, adventure, espionage, and I would argue romantic comedy. So yeah, that's what you missed on Saint Trinian's 1 and 2. And now we have my film A. We have Saint Trinian's 3, The Trial of Kelly Jones, directed by Gurinder Chadha. Just housekeeping, I believe that my beloved sequel would not be directed by a man or written by a man, like the other films were. Instead, it will be directed by legend Gurinder Chadha of Bend It Like Beckham, Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging fame, and, you know, written and Bride and Prejudice. My friend is here shouting, and Bride and Prejudice. Because it's the most. Could you let me? I'm presenting here. This is being recorded. Come on.
Okay. Hey guys.
So in the next slide here we have like my actual film, you know, and I believe in acknowledging that some time has passed, obviously, since these films happened, but it's 7 or 8 years after Saint Trinian's 2, The Sopranos, which were the 2 first years who like were running the school in the first movie. They're now the dual head girls of Saint Trinian's. After reacquainting ourselves as the audience with the school and the cliques, and, you know, Headmistress Fritton, she's living her best life. She's selling her like fraudulent paintings. And on this one random night, there is a huge explosion, which is not caused by anyone at Saint Trinian's, which is why it's a big deal. And it's an explosion at the front door. Excuse me, everyone. My brother has come in. I'm doing a thing.
I didn't say anything.
I'm just making sure you know I'm doing a thing. Okay. And it's the front door. And The Sopranos, and everybody answers it, and there is a dead person, clearly murdered, and with their last breath, they name their killer and whisper it so nobody hears. And everyone's like, oh my God, who killed her? Who killed them? And then there's helicopters and secret agents and SWAT teams, and they roll up to the school and they're like, where is rogue agent Kelly Jones? And everyone's like, oh. So what happened? What's going on? You all ask. Don't worry, I'm going to tell you. So Saint Trinian's 3, like the other films, you know, it draws on some distinct genres. We had a recap here of the genres that the other ones drew on, which are listed there: heist, coming of age, etc. But this one, it's got to be a whodunit. You know, whodunit. That's my best friend right there in terms of genres. And so in the whodunit strand of the film, we have the Saint Trinians trying to figure out who actually murdered the man and why, because they know that it wouldn't be their ex-head girl, Kelly Jones. The Sopranos, which are the 2 head girls, and the Saint Trinians set out to prove Kelly's innocence by solving the case, solving the murder in it. We also see that because she loves her girls, the headmistress Fritton, she uses her one phone call. She takes the hit for this, so none of the other girls do, and she's going to prison. But she uses her one phone call to tell someone on the other end of the phone, you're the only one who can find her. You're the only one that knows her. And oh my God, who is she talking to? Of course, it's our girls. It's one of our girls right here. So at the other end of the phone call was Annabelle, of course, who must now go and find Kelly. How does she have the resources and abilities to do this, you may ask? Well, Annabelle followed in the footsteps of her aunt and dad and became a master criminal, more specifically, a master identity fraud, because that is I basically made that decision based on it would be the best thing for the plot, but it also fits in with her family being criminals and all. This plot strand, is like a Gone Girl sort of, finding the missing person kind of strand of the film, and it culminates with her finding Kelly wherever she may be hiding, and their vibes are very much ex-girlfriends. I'm bringing out all the like kind of gay subtext that was in the first two films. That is going to be front and center in this film. And the vibes are very much ex-girlfriends who still love each other. And Kelly convinces Annabelle that they need to do one last heist because it's a St. Trinian's movie. There has to be a heist. And they're going to heist. I actually did some research for this. Like, what would be the most difficult building to heist in London? And they're going to heist Blythe House, which is a secret archive. It actually is a big archive for MI6, but of course this is St. Trinian's where it's MI7. And there's a time machine in there. Don't worry, I'll explain later. So here we go. Stop laughing at me.
You're speaking to a silent audience. You need atmosphere.
That's true. So
Ooh.
don't boo me.
I said ooh. To create the mystery of a time machine.
I'm sorry, audience. My brother is booing me.
I wasn't booing. I was creating an air of mystery.
So plot strand 3 is the heist, and also Headmistress Fritton just killing it in prison. So I suppose another subgenre of this film would be the prison film.
Yeah.
So Kelly and Annabelle heist the Blythe archive, which apparently is very hard. I did research that, but I didn't bother to include any of it. Just know that it would be very hard to do this. And Kelly finds what she's looking for, which is a laptop. Oh my god, like what's on the laptop? Don't worry about it yet. I promise you it'll be important later. Just as Kelly goes to transfer some important files, oh no, MI7 turned up. They have found them. They put up a good fight, but they are both arrested. Of course, I put this plot point in here. There are no redeemable cops, ACAB always. Meanwhile, during this sequence, Headmistress Fritton, she's killing it in prison. Like, she's absolutely killing it. She's making lots of friends. But she makes a very important decision. We see her make a very important decision as things look more and more dire for both Kelly and Annabelle. So here we go in sort of the final act of the film. We have the trial itself, and it's in super special treason court, which is a thing that I made up. I actually think that this is a real thing. There is like a special kind of court for people who have committed treason. I made that up when I first made this presentation. Then actually I learned it was real. So there you go. The evidence is laid against Kelly for treason. She killed some guy. And then she's been caught giving rogue info to some enemies, and now she is caught stealing from MI7 with her girlfriend Orno. Things are looking bad. The lawyer is calling witnesses to testify against Kelly, and we see a whole bunch of faces from the other two movies, including like David Tennant. Russell Brand doesn't really have to be there. I feel like I put that there just for the value, but he kind of is an important character in relation to her, but I won't get into that. But, I think it would be funny to have Stephen Fry here. I think it would be funny to have Lena Headey here as well. But, Kelly gets her time on the stand and she isn't done. She shows them what she took from the archives, and it's a crazy, like, future archive from the future because, there was a time machine in there. The trial continued, but it's not enough evidence. She still doesn't have enough evidence because she still can't prove that she didn't kill this dude that died at the start of the movie. But then, as I said, the Sopranos and the St. Trinians bust in because they've figured out who it was. And the lawyer was actually Chelsea from the first movie. She's like the main, really, really popular girl who doesn't like Kelly because she thinks that she should be head girl. And she basically confesses to the murder. They take Chelsea away, but the evidence against Kelly and Annabelle is still too much, and they share a look, and wow, they're so in love. but you know me, I got to do a cliffhanger. So Headmistress Fritton confesses to all the crimes so Annabelle and Kelly can go free because she loves her girls. They do, but then like Headmistress Fritton is locked up, so they make a plan to break her out of the highest security prison in London in St. Trinian's 4, the Fritton Redemption.
What the fuck? Fucking plot twist.
Whoa, that's crazy.
And thank you, everyone. That is my pitch for a St. Trinian's 3 going into St. Trinian's 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
Please.
This
I want
is
that
gonna
to
be a
happen.
oh
Thank
my God.
you. Thank you.
I have 2 questions. One,
Please.
when will this be in cinemas?
Yes. Okay.
And 2, would you hate me if I said I've never seen these movies?
Pardon?
I've never seen these movies.
Get out.
Um,
At least see the first one. How dare you?
Okay, so the answer to first question is I don't know. I've been trying to manifest a third St. Trinian's since the second one came out, which is going on 12 years now. So look, I'll let you know. I'm still trying very hard. I really am. And as to your second question, Jess, I don't know if we can be friends. This is a very formative part of my identity. Like you need to at least watch the first film
I
for,
mean,
for
Yeah,
our
at
friendship
least.
to continue.
you've inspired me to go and watch this because I haven't even heard of it. Like, that's the thing. It's not like I'm actively avoiding it. I hadn't heard of it.
Really?
Okay, well, I'm very glad to be the person that has convinced you to go and watch St. Trinian's, if nothing else.
I just think everyone around me has, I guess, bad taste. And it wasn't until today that I
They do.
realized.
Yeah.
They're just really fun and goofy, you know, very like mid late noughties, like kind of corny, but also
They
like kind of like very sincerely corny, not in the ironic corny kind of way that it's done now, but like very sincerely just corny and fun and silly. And also like heaps of the actors that were in that like are now really huge, but they weren't like at the time when they did this. So like it's a very fun to watch. And I think like the sequel is like just even crazier, but I think it was just too crazy and the world wasn't ready for it, you know. The world wasn't ready
It
for the
wouldn't
second
fly
one.
back then, but it would fly now.
Yeah, I genuinely believe that. I do.
Maybe it's good that I haven't watched it and like I've held off till now because now maybe I'll truly, with this now added context of, you know, gay love and the possibility of, I was about to say a throuple. What's 4 movies? A
quad. What's a 4 movie called? A quadrology? Quadrology.
Oh, I love that.
quadrilogy.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Now that I have that and the context in my mind, now I can truly appreciate the art.
It's
I
one
think-
of those. It's one of those in
Quadrilogy.
quadrilogy, apparently.
Thank you.
But it's one of those interesting movies that like was kind of made for boys, but like I've actually not really met a boy that's seen it, and like the
That's
only
so
people that,
interesting.
like
Jennifer's funny.
like
willing
I've
to be
I've
spoiled.
like because obviously like when you watch it, it's very much like, oh, look at these sexy schoolgirls, but like the only people I know that watch these movies were like people like me who were like teen girls and gay and didn't realize it and would just watch this movie over and over.
Oh no, for real. Like definitely that film is like was my sexual awakening.
Yes.
As a teen. Yeah. So
We-
also love the connection between like Russell Brand being in that. Totally forgot about that. But also obviously as a Katie cat, don't like Russell Brand because of what he did to Katie. We don't
No,
stand. Problematic.
I agree, and I don't like him. I think he is like
Thank you.
he's in St. Trinian's 1 and he kind of like drags it down a little bit. Like he's just
Thank
there
you.
to be like the guy that's there. Because otherwise the movie would literally just be all girls, and I feel like they must have been like, no, we have to have a guy there. And it's like, do you have to have a guy there? I don't
have
think
to
you
be
do.
Russell Brand.
Can't be
so-
hot because he destroys the fantasy of it being like, you know, for
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah, exactly. So, but no, I agree with you. Like what he did to Katie, I can't forgive. And also He drags entry in I Can't Forgive. And also now he does weird right-wing podcasts. So I also
can't forget.
got no love.
No.
It's unforgivable, Russell Brand. We hate we think Tom Cruise is a normie, and we we think Russell Brand is a dick.
Done. I can. Yep.
Amazing.
Yes. All right, Jess, I'm passing the mic now to you,
Oh,
please.
Gosh,
Also,
yeah.
I have to quickly let someone in at the door, but I'm listening. So go ahead,
This
Jess.
is the most chaotic event of National Writers Festival, and I'm here for it. It fits in theme. Go, Sarah, do your theme. I will wait for you to come back, and I'll just do stuff. I was actually, what you said, Mary, kind of struck me. How these movies were made for young boys, but actually like a thriving sort of particularly queer female or like just queer like queer in general gendered.
Oh, actually, sorry to interrupt. Sorry. So chaotic. I actually have to go all the way downstairs. So you actually go ahead because it might take like 5 minutes. And I just but I'm listening to you in my ears. So.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. That's okay. Yeah, you do what you gotta do.
We'll chat. Yeah. But no, it's a really interesting genre, like the genre of film that was made for boys, but like is almost exclusively enjoyed by like queer femmes,
I feel like that's not really representative of fandom, I guess, in general. A lot of places, like a lot of these, I mean, particularly the supernatural fandom, obviously, everything I filter through that lens, I guess, was originally made as like a male fantasy of, like the Americana and the mystery of it. But the people who watched it, the people who were fans, and the people who remain fans are mostly women or queer people. And it's just interesting how a lot of those big fandoms are made with that male gaze, that male lens, that male expectation. And then the fans end up, making characters talk about their emotions for like 80,000 words instead. And we're like, no, we see a sad male fantasy hero and we make them soft and go to therapy and also in a coffee shop.
That's something what you said. That's something that what a lot of my friends who watched Teen Wolf also said, that it was like a show that was about these like, boys and their feelings, and they kind of made it for guys, but it ended up just being watched by lots of girls. And that really shaped the fandom. And yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's almost like when you try and gender things, it doesn't really work. Maybe you should just focus on making a good show or a good movie instead of like trying to gender it.
I can't imagine if they had thought of Supernatural and also thought in the same breath of making a good show. Like that's inconceivable. I don't think that happens.
So true. It's so true.
Like I'm a big fan. Like I've been to all the conventions, met most of the actors, like, and I'm like, this is garbage. As a storyteller, as a writer, I'm like, this is trash. But I will watch every episode up until season 11 when I stopped.
I'll tell you, when I tried to watch Supernatural, I got up to the episode in season 1 where there was that racist ghost truck killing black people in the town, and I just went, nah. I never picked it back up.
I started at season 4. I didn't see seasons 1, 2, or 3 until after I'd already watched season 4, because that's when the gay angel came in. And I was like, that's all I care about.
I see.
Yeah. I was like, that was the draw for me. And then after that, I was like, okay, I need some context. And then I was like, oh, this is different. It changed. I don't know what happened in season 4. I think it was like they got brighter lights as well. Like the whole atmosphere of the show changed and everything.
The Handmaid's Tale could never get brighter lights. So many shows that just need brighter lights.
Oh, I need to see stuff to appreciate it. God damn. I might get started on my piece.
Please. I shall mute.
Goodbye. Sort of to add some context, because we love context here. I wrote this piece sort of trying to think about the literary friends I've had in my life, and the main thing literary that I hold dear to my heart is fandom and fan fiction. So it made me think of one of my fandom friends that I had for many years, probably 5 or 6 years, from high school to like early university, whose name was Sufluf, which is a great name, firstly. And secondly, in the way of many people in fandoms and fanfiction writers, we used to show our love and appreciation for each other by writing each other porn and sending it to each other. So this is a piece I wrote for and also sort of inspired by them. It's called Swift Deactivated 20160623. Thank you, and I shall begin. Fade in on a blustery Thursday at a local coffee shop in the heart of Melbourne, Australia. A pale-skinned, towering, at least 5.2 with the platforms, goddess of a man, named Tess, pushes his way into the coffee shop. His breath caught when he happened upon the most breathtaking species he had ever seen. A medium height, roughly 5'2" baked egg dish of a woman. The woman's hair was the color of freshly frothed milk, rejected by unfairly paid production assistant who insisted she asked for soy. Her roots the color of dirt that high-vis tradies scuffed in, boots caked in mud and slush. Her eyes the color of a freshly born pigeon covered in its mother's placenta. A city-born woman, indeed, with a personality screaming, "I wish I was home right now." This woman introduced herself. "Hi, I'm Soofloof Deactivated 20160623. Want some porn?" "Oh," Tess takes in Soofloof Deactivated 20160623's magnificence. Soofloof Deactivated 20160623 dons thigh-high purple boots with a 6-inch heel. A sliver of olive skin peeps out from between the boot and the cut-off jean shorts she got from her grandma. On top, she wears a long-faded singlet that reads, "Hello," all expertly strapped into a seatbelt corset bustier stolen from the local baby's car seat. Overcome and overheated, Tess starts to choke. Soofloof Deactivated 20160623 slaps him across the face. Slap! To help him find his sweet release. Tess passes out. When he comes to, he's in an identical seatbelt corset bustier, purple thigh-high boots, and a long-faded singlet that reads, "Goodbye." What's that sound? To his right, he sees Soofloof Deactivated 20160623's milk-frothed hair through the shelves, bobbing and weaving in perfect time. What is this angel up to? Tess is not in the cafe now, but surrounded on all sides by moth food. Books thicker than a young 30-ish high school principal's dumper. They tower above her locked in. The musty smell of the 13,000 annual income permeates the air. She finds Soofloof Deactivated 20160623 on the ground with her laptop, fingers flying over the keyboard like the rent is due. She's in the shelves between The Great Gatsby, The Immigrants, and Anna Karenina. You know, classics by the greatest writer of all time, John Hughes. Tap, space, tap, tap, space, tap, space. She works to create the most evocative sentences, construct the most daring of metaphors. Soofloof Deactivated 20160623 looks up at Tess. "Why don't you sit for a spell?" The laptop she's already set up for her. Tess sits down between the shelves. "Follow me," says Soofloof Deactivated 20160623. She works her fingers across the keyboard. Tap, tap, space, tap, space, tap, space. But Tess can't keep up. Tap, 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 space, tap. The rhythm is off. The keys sticking. Soofloof Deactivated 20160623 pulls Tess's calloused hands into her lap, onto her keyboard to help her. Tap, tap, space, metaphors and similes and words like turgent and member, shaft, phallus, baloney pony, beaver basher, beef whistle, custard launcher, a light with leather thigh-high purple prose, tap, tap, space, tap, space. fade to black. So this is an example of this porny real person fan fiction that I would write with my friend Sue Floof back in high school and university. In my experience, this is the greatest gift that you can give someone you love, which is really badly written porn. I guess I should add sort of some context. About 4 years back, I had a fandom friend, Sue Floof. She lived in a time zone significantly different to here, was old enough to have a husband and kids, and she and I were fandom fanfiction friends. We had an equal measure of love and frustration in our hearts for a TV show called Supernatural, which is how we met on Tumblr. Have you ever posted something online and had someone comment on that thing with such love and enthusiasm that you sort of reply, and then they reply back and you end up having a pretty nice conversation about the fic or the fandom or whatever, and then it strikes you that this person is actually writing this somewhere in the world, on a bus or on a train or at home, at work, on the park or on a hike or in school or having breakfast or just whatever. They're taking their time out of their day to interact with you about something you both are passionate about. And I sort of think that's really beautiful. That's sort of how I first met Soof. For a long time, we were joined at the metaphysical hip online. We were messaging each other every day, all day, sharing art and our favorite fanfic recommendations, our goals, and even some of our dreams. To others in our corner of fandom, we were sort of like a pair. Not all of it was strictly platonic. Despite this, I actually never knew her non-Soof Loof name. I only ever called her Soof, and I knew a weird mix of incredibly personal details about her life and her relationship, particularly with her husband, but I also knew almost nothing at all about her. Nothing really identifying seemed to be the only spoken agreement between us. Together, the two of us and some of our other fandom friends created a fanfiction challenge that is still going on to this day, actually. So often writing fanfic for us was about the hits and the kudos on Ao3, which is Archive of Our Own. It was all about sort of the reading stats you would get, how many people were engaging or reading your work. So to combat that, we actually created a challenge that flipped that around, the goal being to write the worst fanfic that you could, that would get the least amount of engagement, the least amount of kudos or hits or comments. The way to win this challenge was to lose. And by some unspoken agreement, me and Sue, we always wrote these fics specifically with each other's likes and dislikes, accurately those dislikes. I'm really sad to say that I actually never got the chance to have Soof read this piece, Soof Loof Deactivated 20160623. I'll never see her trying to sabotage my challenge entry by recommending this mess of a real person fanfiction to others, to cringe and laugh and flood the fic with nonsensical comments just to bump up my score so I wouldn't win the challenge. She never would get the chance to lie about what a piece of art it was and how it was probably the best thing that had ever been written in the English language since Shakespeare, who I've learnt tonight is a woman. Thank you, Mary. I don't know what happened to Soof. I got busy with life. She got busy with her life. I stopped watching the TV show Supernatural and I engaged less with the fandom. I was moving on to other hyperfixations, other obsessions, writing less and less fanfic as I was writing more and more published works. Until one day I logged back onto tumblr.com and Soof Loof was now deactivated. 20160623. I asked around our old fandom group, seeing if anyone knew anything, but apparently it was quick, unplanned, and sudden. 1 minute, Soof was there, a humming part of the proverbial hive mind of our corner of fandom, and the next she was silent. When long-time mutuals disappear without a trace, without a trace. There is some sort of grief there, and an unknowing. It sits in your chest and in your throat, and it reminds you, and you get reminded of it at like the randomest times. Mostly for me, it's when I see rabbits, because she hopefully has pet rabbits. For me, I'm also really reminded of Soof when I read really bad porn. I sometimes wonder who she was behind her username, if she's even still alive, if she's doing okay, if she ended up coming out as bisexual to her husband, if she worked out with his controlling issues with her and their relationship, if her kids ended up in the schools that they wanted to be in, if she ever brought that second rabbit. I wonder if we would get along and maybe even be friends if we did meet in real life, like I have with some of my other fandom friends online over the years. But I guess at the end of the day, I just hope that my fanfiction friend is doing okay. I hope that she's warm and that she's healthy and that she has both good and terrible, terrible porn and terrible fanfic to keep her company. Dab.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, it's giving me the feels. I like it's so yeah, like even just being on Twitter fandoms, like I really like relate to that of like you become so close to these like people online over this like obsession that you have. And then sometimes they do like just disappear. Like there are people I've known on Twitter who just like are gone from the fandom and you're like, where did they go?
Yeah, it's something that sort of keeps you up at night, the unknowing of it all. And like that's what I mean. Like I just hope she's doing good. I hope she didn't watch the finale because it sucked. Those are the two things. I hope she's doing good. Skip the finale. Great.
With that, did any of you see? I think it was like a Taylor Swift fan account, and they were a massive Taylor Swift fan account, and then all of a sudden, like for the first time in like 10 years or something, they stopped posting, and then they came back after 3 months, and everyone was like, where'd you go? And they were like, oh, don't worry guys, it was no big deal, I just went to jail. And like and it was because they were Israeli and they refused to like do their conscription in the IDF, and so they had to, you know, they go to jail if you don't do it. And so yeah, they were just like, anyway, yeah, here's the latest update on Taylor Swift.
Here's
like
what Taylor's doing. She had a bagel. Isn't that great?
And everybody was like, wait, what? You went to jail? It was a crazy day. I mean,
she still hasn't released an album.
and she's still, as far as I know, like she's that account is still active and everything. But I just remember I don't even move among the Taylor Swift Twitter, but I remember reading about that and going, what? Oh my gosh.
I heard about it too, and I'm not in like the Taylor Swift scene, but I mean, I guess like the one thing fanish communities, regardless of what your fans have in common, is that there is that sense of like when a big, I guess, figure in the fandom just disappears, you're like, what happened to them? And it becomes a whodunit sort of married to full circle. It's like, what happened? What happened? Where'd you go? What'd you do? But that's actually like, it's not a cool answer to say they went to jail. I don't want people to go to jail ever, but it's kind of like badass to be like, I was in jail. By the way, Taylor Swift's new album.
Yeah, it is. It was just one of those random things, and I don't know, like Sarah ran one of those big fan accounts. Like, you know, there were probably people that like you with your friend, like, you know, there were probably people when you were running your Katy Perry fan account, Sarah, that were like, oh, I hope this Katy Perry fan person is having a lovely day. I hope they, you know, hope that they ate something nice, you know, like.
Hope they read some shitty Katy Perry porn. Oh, good Katy Perry porn, you know.
I didn't delve into that, by the way. Just saying, like, that's a whole other world that I think's out there that I don't know about, but should get into.
Maybe that's how we leave it tonight. We leave it with the promise of 1, we're getting a 4th movie, and 2, Sarah's gonna look into Katy Perry porn.
I will. Yes, I will. Done.
Excellent.
Amazing.
Well,
Well,
Thank
Go
you
ahead.
both. Thank you both for sharing your wonderful work. It was
Thank
beautiful to
you.
listen to you. Thank you.
no, thank you. You've really inspired me. Literally after this, I'm gonna be like writing it down in my notes when I get back from the festival, watching the movies.
Get on
Please,
there.
you
Marathon
have
them.
to. You have
Mm.
to. And I want a review. Thank you.
A
Yeah,
review.
they're on Stan, by the way, guys. Saint Trinians 1 and 2 are both on Stan.
I have Stan for another month because I accidentally forgot to cancel my free
Let's do it.
subscription. So yay, great, perfect timing, amazing.
And everyone check out Sarah's show in
Yes.
please.
Yes,
Please.
I was about Fringe. Check out Sarah's Melbourne Fringe show. Any other stuff that Sarah you're doing that you want to plug quickly? Any other events at the festival or anything you've got going on in your life?
Oh my God, the pressure. Well, I'm doing a show at the end of the year called Unkissed. Yeah, so if follow me on Instagram at _Sarah Lee and you'll see deets there. Thank you.
Amazing. Mary, what about yourself? Plug away.
My plans for the festival. This is my last event for the festival. But if you want to go watch my pre-recorded event, I Like Your Shoelaces, I'm there with 2 other wonderful pop culture journalists discussing sort of the impact of pop culture and social media on journalism and on news, which was a very interesting discussion to have. As for the rest of the year, I don't know. My brain is quite tired. But I would appreciate it if everybody went and bought the anthologies I'm a part of. They're both like very groundbreaking anthologies of Black and Indigenous authors, which I don't know if I mentioned. I am Aboriginal, very proudly so. And the anthologies I'm a part of are groundbreaking anthologies of Aboriginal sci-fi and spec fic. This will come back now, and Unlimited Futures. Go to your local bookshops and please buy them. Rafif Ismail, who was originally meant to be on this wonderful panel tonight, they actually edited Unlimited Futures, and so yeah, you would also be supporting Rafif if you did that as well. So yeah, please.
Another incredible fan fiction writer and reader and critique partner.
Yes.
Yes, I was actually about to reach behind me and like grab my copies, but then I realized I'm not at home. And I was like, oh. So
I should have had mine behind me, but I'm in the lounge room because everyone wanted to watch this reading. So.
Oh, cute. Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Mary's mates, for watching, and Mary's brother for mooing.
Yeah, that was wild.
He's gone to.
Guys, I lied. It's not on Stan. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. My friend lied. It's not on Stan.
Sorry, I made a mistake.
Centrinians not on Stan, but still find it. Go find and watch Centrinians. Moral of the story.
That's bullets,
I
not.
have a DVD.
I will go and I will find it. As for stuff for me to plug, just enjoy the festival. I'm the digital manager. I've had the absolute pleasure of doing all these digital events, such as I Like Your Shoelaces, which is tomorrow, actually at 4 p.m. That's going to be it is an amazing session. Yeah, check it all out. And everyone go and read some fanfic before you go to bed tonight. You won't regret it. All right.
Thank you, Jes. Thank you, Sarah. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
PowerPoint?